growing through times of change. How do you see the environment changing today, Melissa?
I think we are in unprecedented times, especially within the defense sector and the intel sector. There is nothing but change that is occurring. And so it has been an opportunity to go ahead and push ourselves, I think, to the limits. And each day as it unfolds, I think there's a whole new strategy that you have to employ. So you have to be flexible and dynamic in the current situation. But I think it's also been a really good challenge for a lot of us. It's kind of gotten us out of what can be comfortable at sometimes when you've been doing it for a while. So it's definitely incited, I think, a lot of passion for people within industry to kind of be a little bit more creative in their thought process as they're trying to redefine strategy, as they're trying to kind of figure out what the landscape is going to be, and how they're repositioning themselves to fit the new formula, if you will.
So, you mentioned getting comfortable. How is that tied to making sure that we all grow as a person?
So I'm a firm believer in having a 5-year gut check. And so throughout my career, I've always within 5 years kind of checked to see, um, if I'm still positive about where I am, if I'm still, um, growing and exploring, if I'm still feeling challenged, if I'm still passionate about the things that I'm doing. And so that's been a strategy for me that's been really successful in helping me to kind of define that I never really fall into those comfortable spots because I think it is very easy to do. I found myself where, even at this last transition, where I had been someplace for 10 years. So I had done that initial 5-year gut check, very happy, had no aspirations to leave. And then I was coming up on that second one. I kind of went, maybe I'm a little bit comfortable. Maybe there's things I need to explore, and maybe I need to push myself a little bit more. So I went ahead and I took a leap, and it has been fantastic. I have zero regrets. But it's also, it's been a challenge. I do find myself on the flip side of that, realizing that, yeah, I had definitely gotten a little bit comfortable. I knew the process and the people and just the familiarity of all of that. I think because you become so much of work becomes an extension of yourself, you become so familiar with who you're working with day in and day out that a lot of it you don't even really have to question anymore, right? Once you get into that rhythm and that routine, you just kind of fall into place with one another. And so people, I think, also stop really kind of pushing those questions and those exploratory notions of what else is there and how can we think about this differently, because we all kind of know there's a familiarity there that you just kind of know what each other are thinking in some parameters. So I have found that surrounding myself in a new environment with new people and kind of relearning, it's this same formula, if you will, but several of the processes are different, the people are different, definitely different. It's definitely expanded, I think, and pushed me to the limits of being more uncomfortable and realizing I was a little bit too familiar, and I love being able to kind of grow that way. I think it pushes me to think more broadly about things and trying to recall how I did something before. Trying to tap into those key things, because some of that you also start to lose, right? It just becomes second nature when you do it time and time again. You almost forget how you got there. So relearning some of those key steps, taking those lessons learned, that all of that has been really it's been a great growth process for me.